Here's some more problems from the linear function practice test, and this is number 7. We want to find the slope of the line containing the following points. So we're going to have to use our slope formula. So I wrote this off on a different sheet of paper because we're going to need a little more room. So there's my points on number 7. And remember, the formula for the slope is m equals y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to label my points so I don't get mixed up when I put them in the formula. So I can call this x1 y1, x2 y2, and just substitute. So m equals, and then I'll write down the signs, the negative signs that are in the formula, and I'll put my data in. y2 is 12, y1 is 2, x2 is 7, and x1 is negative 3. And we can simplify that. And that's going to be equal to, and that's going to be 12 minus 2 is 10. And 7, and that's going to be a negative times a negative is positive, so 7 plus 3 is also 10. So my slope equals 1. Okay, and remember we have a negative sign in the data here and a negative sign in the formula, so you got double negatives. Okay. Number 8. Again, I'll label my points. And this is x1, y1, x2, y2. Now it doesn't matter. I could call this x2, y2, and x1, y1 just as long as the 1's are together and the 2's are together. And again, I'll write down my slope formula. I always do that. M equals y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. And then I'll write down the formula, then I'll put my data in. y2 is 5. y1 is negative 2. So I got a negative in my data and a negative in my formula. And x2 is negative 3. And x1 is 4. So double check there. That looks right. y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Okay? And then I simplify. I get a double negative. So 5 plus 2 is 7. And negative 3 and negative 4 is negative 7. So that's going to be equal to negative 1. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, and then number 9, again, I'll write down my formula, m equals I'll label my points, and I've got x1, y1, x2, y2, and I'll substitute those in the formula. And we have, let's see, y2 is what? Negative 2. And y1 is 2. So negative 2 minus 2 all over negative 3 minus negative 3. And now we got all kinds of issues here. We've got 0. Well, I'm sorry, negative 4, pardon me. Negative 4 on the top. And a negative 3 plus 3 is 0, so we have 0 in the denominator. That's undefined. Now, if you looked at this, it says that x is always negative 3, so if you kind of sketch this graph here, we've got negative 3 and 2, and we got negative 3 and negative 2. So that's just a vertical line. And again, the slope is undefined, so m is undefined. And notice that we have a vertical line, and actually the equation of that vertical line is easy to figure out because the only thing we know is that x is always negative 3. It doesn't actually matter what y is. Y could be negative 2, 0, 2. It could be negative 1, 1. It doesn't matter. The main idea is that x is always negative 3. There's my. So the equation of this line is actually, I'll write it like this. That's a vertical line. X is always the same value. So it's a vertical line, so we know the slope is undefined. Okay, so I hope that all makes sense, and you can see that. I hope I wasn't off the page. Okay. So that's 7, 8, and 9.